Owatonna City Council meeting to order for April 1st, 2014. And with that, we'll ask for roll call.
Councilmember Rainey.
Here.
Svenby.
Here.
Trilson.
Here.
Dodson.
Here.
Schultz.
Here.
Burbank.
Here.
Abraham.
Here.
Mayor Kuntz.
Here.
We have all 7 of the council and the mayor present.
Thank you. Please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge of Allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I would like to welcome everyone here tonight for the council meeting, and with that, approval of the agenda. We do not have any updates or corrections, so we'll look for a motion to approve as presented.
So moved.
Motion by Brent Svenby to approve. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Raymond Trulson. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? This has been approved. Next item on the agenda is our mayor has some proclamations. And with that, we'll turn it over to you.
Thank you, Les. A couple exciting things to do. First, I'll read the proclamation. If you drive around town, down to Central Park and up by West Hills and stuff, you'll see a lot of blue ribbons tied around trees now. And the Exchange Club has done that in honor of prevention of child abuse. And the proclamation reads, whereas April was first declared Child Abuse Prevention Month in 1983, and whereas April has been a time to acknowledge the importance of families and communities working together to prevent child abuse, and whereas you may be a child's only lifeline to safety, child abuse is everyone's business, and whereas child abuse includes physical abuse, sexual abuse, physical neglect and endangerment, and emotional abuse and neglect. Now, therefore, I, Thomas A. Kuntz, Mayor of the great city of Owatonna, hereby proclaim April 2014 as Child Abuse Prevention Month and encourage anyone who suspects child abuse or neglect to call Child Protection Services in Steele County, the Owatonna Police Department, or call 1-800-CHILDREN to speak with someone at Prevent Child Abuse Minnesota. Dated April 1st, 2014, Thomas A. Kuntz.
Thank you.
And the other exciting thing is that the Owatonna Chamber is a very, very important part of the city of Owatonna and its community. From tourism to economic development to the Main Street. And Main Street is what we get to recognize today. So Melanie, if I get you to come up. This young lady has worked very, very hard at getting Owatonna designated as Main Street Owatonna. And the plaque reads, Certificate of Designation, Main Street Owatonna, Minnesota Main Street Coordinator, signed by them. Congratulations on all your hard work. Get you to go to the mic and just give us a couple minutes of what really Main Street really means to our great community.
Sure. All right. Good evening, everyone. So are all of you familiar with the Main Street program? A little bit about what it's about? Okay, so it's a program that's been through the Chamber for more than 10 years. We work to advocate for the downtown. There are 153 businesses in the downtown, and one of our goals last year was to achieve designation through the state program. And in order to do that, we filled out a lengthy application. It was about 30 pages, and we also received 21 letters of community support in addition to that. And we received designation just this February from the state program. So designation means $6,400 in technical assistance on an annual basis. We give them $2,000 as a membership to be a part of the designation, and then that $6,400 can be used for various things that the advisory committee is currently working through. Also with designation, we are able to sit on the steering committee for the state program. So at this time, though, I just want to open it up for questions if anybody has any about the Main Street program or about designation. If not, I just want to also say thanks to all of you for all of the support that the city gives the Main Street program in permits and the street department and park and rec, all of the support throughout the years. Raymond?
Just wanted to say, I'm part of the EDA. I sat on that board, and we hear from her every month all the activities going on. And I can tell you, there's a lot of things always happening in that side of the fence. And you look at the Christmas parade and the farmer's market, and I mean, you can go on and on of all the things. But I don't think people in the community see that the big picture like we do on the EDA, because she's usually here monthly and gives us an update. And I thank you for that. So.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you for the recognition.
Well, thank you very much. Congratulations to you and to the Chamber for achieving this goal, and it's significant. So congratulations and thank you. With that, we'll move on to the financial report, and I'll ask Greg to read it.
Okay. There are 3 checks over $20,000. The first was $24,181 to Moulton and Mink for the airport master plan. 90% of that is federally funded. $62,827 to Owatonna Ford for 2 Ford Fusions for the police department and 1 Ford F-150 for the wastewater treatment plant. $75,610 to Yoakum Oil for fuel purchases and other expenditures of $128,679 for total expenditures of $291,298.
Thank you. What is the council's wishes?
Motion to pay the bills.
We have a motion by Kevin Rainey to pay the bills. Do we have a second to that?
Second.
Seconded by Nate Dotson. Any further discussion?
Chris, what are the fusions for at the PD? Is that replacement or
Replacement for unmarked.
unmarked? Okay.
Any other questions? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? These have been approved. Moving on to the consent agenda items, which are minutes of meetings, license permit requests, etc., all grouped into one motion. What is the council's wishes?
Motion we approve.
Motion by Dane to approve. Do we have a second to that?
Second.
Second by Dave Burbank. Any further discussion? Raymond?
Just got a question. I see the fire department's going to close Lamont Road 4 different nights from 6 to 9 o'clock. Do we need that many? I guess was question 4 different nights. They want to close Lamont Road, the fire department for training.
Yeah, I think to get all of the folks through the training that's what was required.
I mean, that's quite a few nights, I guess, to derail people around.
Well, some of that is that they can't get everybody at one time.
No,
to
I know.
do it,
I
so,
understand. Just 4 nights seem to be.
Okay. Any other questions or comments? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? This has been approved also. Now moving on to action items. First one is 3.41, second reading of proposed ordinance for weapons and dangerous devices, and we'll go to Mark.
That's you.
But yes.
Yes, Bismarck, right. This is the ordinance to repeal Section 975:20 because it's in conflict with the state statute, Minstat Squiggle 624.714, which is the Minnesota Citizens Personal Protection Act. Because the statute preempts the field in this area, our ordinance was not lawful. So we're asking that you repeal it, give it a second reading.
Thank you. And this is a second reading, so if it's approved, it has been removed. So with that, what is the council's wishes?
Motion to approve.
We have a motion to approve by Greg Schultz. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Nate Dotson. Any further discussion?
Go ahead.
With this being an ordinance, we have to have a roll call.
Councilmember Rainey.
Aye.
Svenby.
Aye.
Trilson.
Aye.
Dodson.
Aye.
Schultz.
Aye.
Burbank.
Aye.
Abraham.
Aye.
All 7 ayes.
Thank you. This has been approved to be removed. With that, we'll move on to resolutions 15-14, accept bids and award contract for 2014 West Bridge Street. And with that, we'll go to Kyle.
Good evening. This project is the closing a gap in our sidewalk system from the bridge over I-35 along Bridge Street to Park Drive, which would be at the stoplight by Fleet Farm. We bid this project last summer. We had a limited number of bidders, and I believe we had 2 bidders and high prices, so it was delayed until this year. We did much better this spring. We received 7 bids, and they were below our previous engineer's estimate from last year. That was around $75,000. We had increased it because of the prices received last year. So we're comfortable with the low bidder, James Brothers Construction of Elysian, and recommend approval of the resolution.
Thank you, Kyle. Questions from the council? Raymond?
What was the bid last year, Kyle, on that?
It was around 90,000.
90?
I don't have the exact number.
Okay, 90,000.
Any other questions?
So move we approve.
We have a motion by Raymond to approve. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Brent Svenby. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? This has been approved. Now we move on to miscellaneous items. Set date for public hearing for violations of cable TV franchise. And with that, we'll go to Chris.
Thank you, Les. As you know, the city had notified Charter Communication of some franchise violations involving underpayments of franchise fees due to the city and overcollection of fees from subscribers. We sent them a letter back in December, and we've been trading letters back and forth, and still we have not come to a resolution of these items. According to our franchise, if Charter does not cure this violation within 90 days, the city must schedule a public hearing to investigate the default. And so that's what we are asking council to do, is set our April 15th for the public hearing on this matter. Staff would recommend approval.
Thank you, Chris. Any questions from the council? Raymond?
Chris, if they don't show up that night, or that they say we're going to do something, then this might get canceled.
Right. We will continue to work on a resolution, and I'm hoping that we will be able to find a solution and not need to have the hearing. So we will continue to work on that. That's a good point. Thank you.
So move we approve.
Motion by Raymond to approve. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Nate. Any further discussion? I guess the question I've got is that if they don't show up, we do have the public hearing, they don't show up, nor have they been in contact, what is our alternative at that point?
Well, then council, I think, can find that they would be in violation of the franchise, and then we, move on accordingly for discipline.
Okay.
Would they end up a lawsuit then at that time?
Potentially. I guess you would ultimately, I don't know if you would have them reject the, eliminate the franchise, but certainly we don't want it to come to that.
Dave, what type of money are we talking about for over collection?
The over collection was about $26,000 to $28,000. The fees that were owed the city were in the neighborhood of $8,000 to $9,000.
And now that over collection, that may or may not be the total amount, because we did not get all the information from Charter that we requested.
Right. There was, our auditor had said that Charter had not provided the documentation that he would like to see. Is Form 318, and there seems to be a disagreement about what is proper documentation and not. So that's some of the issues that we're trying to sort through, and also with the over collection, there's the Charter's view is that it makes up for some previous under collection that they had, and so they were just truing up their fees. That's all part of that. So we're hoping to work through these issues with Charter and settle it before the 15th.
Okay. Thank you, Chris. Now, this is a motion to set the date. Raymond?
Just got one question on Charter. Have they talked about the contract, have negotiations? Or?
We've also been trading letters back and forth on that as well. So
where they at on that whole nothing?
We had asked them to submit another proposal that we found their previous one lacking.
We should put some regulation after so many months of no contract, or I'm here January. When it was due? September?
Yeah, it was September.
Well, you've got to realize that our goal was to have a choice for
Yeah, I know. I
our
understand.
residents. If we
I understand.
kick them out, so to speak, now we're back to one, which may not be able to handle what we're doing anyway.
Right.
But we want to have that choice there. So we got to be kind of careful how we really handle that. So.
You understand.
Okay, we do have a motion and a second. Seeing any other discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? This has been approved. Thank you, Chris. And then moving on to the last item is 3.6.2, three-year strategic plan for 2014 to 2016. Chris?
Thank you. As you know, we had worked very hard on the strategic plan. The council, along with department heads, met back in January to look at short-term needs, long-term needs, and to revise and update our previous plan. We did that. We put together a draft plan for your review. We reviewed that at a study session in February, made some tweaks to the plan, and what we have before you now is the finalized strategic plan, setting the course for the city to ensure that our vision is accomplished. We developed 4 key focus areas, the focus areas being infrastructure, economic vitality, quality of life, and residential redevelopment. And this will give the department heads and myself the ability to put our efforts towards these focus areas and align our efforts and resources to accomplish the goals underneath these focus areas and make some positive progress for the citizens of Owatonna. So staff would recommend approval.
Thank you, Chris. Any questions from the council? Raymond?
Do you plan on bringing that to us quarterly this year to talk about?
Yep, we'll give you quarterly updates.
Okay, good. Do you have a come up on that automatically?
Yep, we will.
Okay. Any other questions, comments?
Do we need a motion to accept it, or what's your?
Yes, we do.
Sure.
What?
Yes, we do.
I'll move to accept it.
We have a motion to accept it by Raymond. Do we have a second to that?
Second.
Second by Greg Schultz. Any further discussion on this? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? This has been approved. Now moving on to public comment, and if anyone in the audience would like to speak, please come forward to the mic and sign in.
Roger Wasik, still at 646 East Vine. Just want to share with everyone here, since I've been in the past talking about herbicide and chemical use, particularly what the city uses. My last Wise Traditions newsletter cited research showing glyphosate in vitro experiments induced cancer in cells in parts per trillion. Parts per trillion, a lot of zeros before that one. Okay, Roundup is glyphosate. In vitro experiments are just test tube experiments, so you can take that with a grain of salt. When I shared that information with a U of M professor, University of Minnesota Waseca professor, when I was at a conference just about a month ago, he commented that without Roundup, we wouldn't be able to feed the world. My sarcastic response, which I didn't think of right off the cuff, was, well, how comforting that you'll be well fed when you're dying of cancer. Just wanted to share that with you because I'm still dealing with the city on herbicide use.
Okay.
These safe chemicals.
Thank you. Anyone else? Seeing none, we'll move on to council comment, and with that, we'll start with Kevin.
I have nothing tonight.
Brent.
I have nothing this evening.
Raymond.
I have nothing.
Nate.
I will resist the urge to make any April Fool's jokes.
Thank you. Greg.
Nothing following that.
Dave.
Sounds like we've got some more weather coming the end of the week, so be careful behind the wheel.
Yes. Tom.
Well, I just can't let the council meeting end that quickly, so I did get visited by a couple board members for the Hospitality House of Owatonna. And I did get some comments I want to share. The Hospitality House of Owatonna is the house that homeless men can go to. It is also fully funded by donations only. So just a couple things. The hospitality is a shelter, transitional housing for men. We work with our guests to help them become self-supporting and to get into the appropriate housing. Our main focus here is employment. We have a volunteer come twice a week to work with our guests on job search skills, locating jobs, filling out applications, interviewing skills, and so forth. In addition, they are required to apply for a minimum of 10 jobs per week. Most of our guests are able to find employment, save a few paychecks, and move out into their own housing. Some guests need additional help, such as access to medical, mental health, or chemical dependency services. We average over 16 men per night. We sometimes have a full house and still have a waiting list of men. The busiest months are January and July. Last year, we served 126 individuals. The average age was 37 years old, and they range from 19 to 75. The average length of stay was 37 days. We solely operate on donations from this community, are in need of financial support. The cost to house our guests is about $13 per day per person. Anybody that would like to make donations, they can send the donations to the Hospitality House, P.O. Box 541, Owatonna, Minnesota 55060. And I encourage anybody that wishes to do that. It's a cause that I think is definitely needed in our community. And the way the city can help is make sure that people are aware of the need.
Thank you. Anything else? That'll do it. That's it. Okay, Chris.
Just a couple of events coming up. The Owatonna Park and Rec, along with the Steele County Humane Society, is having a new event called Bark and Rec. It'll be held at the Steele County Fairgrounds Four Seasons Center on Saturday, April 26th from 9 to 1. You're encouraged to bring your furry family member and check out what vendors from our area have to offer. Demonstrations include the Canine Cash from our Owatonna PD, 2 different agility demonstrators. We ask that all dogs attending have a rabies tag or proof of vaccination and be leashed. So that's going to be a fun event. We're also having another one co-sponsored by the Waseca Community Education and Owatonna Park and Rec. It's the first annual Munchkin Market, Friday, April 18th from 1 to 4, also at the Four Seasons. Youth will have tables selling toys, games, and books. There will be a tadpole parade. Rad Zoo will have a demonstration, and the Teddy Bear Band will perform at 3 p.m. So come shopping and enjoy some great entertainment throughout the afternoon. And that's all I had.
Thank you, Chris. And Chris has got a number of these postcards, if you're interested in. It's for the 14 and 14. It's regarding Highway 14 to try to support getting that completed within the next century.
Is there a bit of sarcasm there?
Done right before the flying car.
Right. Chris has a number of them. If you'd like to get some to kind of pass them out,
have people.
Please see Chris about that, or Jeanette while Chris is on vacation. So, with that, Chair will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Motion by Kevin. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Nate. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Meeting adjourned.
Let's have me one.
I got one more question.
Yes.